It's a complete end-to-end process when thinking about how you can actually have a methodology that incorporates diverse voices and having the confidence to speak to your clients about it. We can't just think about the here and now, but what about the future, and what about the people that are actually going to be carrying the torch going forward? Have an open mind, take a little taste of different things until you figure out what you're actually interested in.
Hello and welcome to the Winners' Words podcast, where we unearth what it takes to succeed at the Market Research Awards from the winners themselves. I'm your host, Lewis Reeves, CEO and founder at Walr, and today our guest is from a category so critical to the future of our industry, the 2023 Research Live Award winner for the Young Researcher of the Year, Supplier Slide, LaShanda Seaman. LaShanda, very nice to have you with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. LaShanda, to get us started, I would love to learn a little bit more about you, particularly your role and who you're working for.
So at the moment, I'm a senior research manager in the qualitative team at Opinion. I've been there for about 2 years now, and I've been a quali the entire time that I've worked in research. I decided that numbers just weren't for me. I left them way back in GCSE accounting, and I focused on just the people on the quali side. Outside of that, outside of my core role, I've done a lot of stuff in D&I. So inside the business, whatever company I've worked at, as well as across the industry as well. So at the moment, for me, that involves looking at and more. So that's our 30 under 30s, looking across the industry, being involved in the leadership team for that. So I've been involved in that for a couple of years, really championing young researchers across the board as well. So being elected to the board across the MRS. And doing other networking groups as well. So thinking about how we can actually get more people involved in the industry and staying in the industry and having themselves have a career in market research, which I think is really, really important.
Indeed, a subject we're both incredibly passionate about. And clearly we're going to touch on a lot today, what makes for a successful young researcher. So just to touch on what the judges said about you with your award wins. Well known for your strong contributions to the sector, including within your qual work, ensuring diverse perspectives are always heard, a mentor to young people, really interested to touch base on that. You're known to the podcasting scene within our industry and appear at lots of guest speaker events, and also involved with the MRS board, along with the and more that you've mentioned already, and a lot in terms of D&I as well. So lots and lots to unpick there. I want to start with your qual work and bringing diverse voices into qual. It's clearly a challenge that the industry is really starting to tackle now, and would love to hear some of the ways in which you're doing that.
Definitely. So I think it's a complete end-to-end process. It goes right from when you have a proposal and thinking about how you can actually have a methodology that incorporates diverse voices, and going back and talking to your clients about that and having the confidence to speak to your clients about it. So it might be, this is going to be more expensive because we're going to have to go out and get diverse voices. And are you willing to pay for it? And explaining to them the rationale and having that knowledge to be able to speak to them, and going out to recruiters as well who go out and have more diverse voices, and having that network built up among your database of recruiters as well when you come into the design and thinking about how you actually make your designs more diverse. So we have a full end-to-end process in Opinion, and we've built that up over time. We've built up more people who are more confident doing that, and also knowing that your colleagues are confident coming to you to speak to that stuff. It's really important.
Indeed, fantastic. And now I'm keen to discuss a few sort of MRS specific areas. So you mentioned your involvement with and more, and also your position on the MRS board, which I believe it to be true that you're the youngest ever MRS board member.
No one's corrected me yet. Take that.
What I would love to know is a little bit about the process to getting on the MRS board and what was involved there. A little bit about the work that you're doing with the MRS board and some of the initiatives, and also some of the initiatives that the and more group are working on.
Sure. So with the board itself, there was an application process. You had to have 2 people to actually support your application. They had to be fellows to actually go forward. And then it was sort of a public vote. So anyone who was a member of the MRS was eligible to be able to vote in that election. And then I was successful as one of the candidates to put myself forward. It's been about a year now that I've been on the board, and something that we all have different areas. So something that I focus on is young researchers. So we have to actually champion their voices at a board level. We're having discussions and I'm like, well, what about the young researchers? Well, what about the future of the industry? So, I just keep chirping away, and that's my role, and that's what I'm doing, because obviously I think that's really important. We can't just think about the here and now, but what about the future, and what about, the people that are actually going to be carrying the torch going forward. And I think that links really nicely with what I do on Anmore. So in the Anmore leadership team, there's about 5 of us who've been on the leadership team. And we're actually going to be planning our succession plan now, because we're all getting a bit old and we want to have some fresh voices in there. But we do different things. We do events, we do networking sessions, and it enables us to be able to bring people together from all across the industry who wouldn't normally get together, who wouldn't normally be able to build that connection unless they're attending larger industry events, to build some of their skills and how they can actually connect with people. We have our annual conference that we do, which I was able to actually chair last year, which is really nice. And share information as well. So it's like, what are you all working on, and learn about different businesses. So it's really, really exciting.
And if there's young researchers out there, how do they find out about Anmore?
So you can just go on the MRS website and you can find out about Anmore. You can sign up to our newsletter and that comes out. You can hear about the different events that we're going on, and it's absolutely free. And that's a nice bit. You don't have to have an MRS membership to be a part of Anmore. So you can just join, come along. You have lots of fun.
Brilliant. Well, guys, you know where to find it. And the award itself, tell me about what that's meant for your career and the opportunities that it's creating.
Ooh, for me, I think it was just really exciting to be able to celebrate everything that I've done. I don't think it was just something for me personally. I know there's a lot of people that I work with, a lot of people that support the stuff that I do, who were just as excited as me on that night to be able to say, like, congratulations, I've been a part of the work that you've been doing, or I've seen what you're doing, and I'm really excited for you. And I think that's just also just something about our industry as well. It's not something that's really individualistic. We all work together really well. We always celebrate each other's successes. So that was really nice to be able to do on the actual evening.
Brilliant, indeed. The last 2 questions I'd like to finish off with, one of which is, what advice would you give to someone who's just starting their career in research, that looks up to you and thinks, one day I want to be an award winner for Young Researcher of the Year? What sort of hints and tips would you give them?
I think it's to have an open mind. When you're coming in, it can seem daunting. You don't know where to turn. Is it quant? Is it qual? Is it ops? There's lots of different industries people could focus on when they're coming in. But to just have an open mind, take a little taste of different things until you figure out what you're actually interested in and what you actually want to pursue going forward, and take advantage of different opportunities to be able to talk to people who've been around for longer, to go to different events and just be out there until you figure out, okay, where do I actually want to sit and where do I actually want to go?
Yeah. So. And finally, what is the answer? How do we attract the very best young minds into our sector?
How do we attract the best minds? I think it's just not going the traditional route. So not going just to universities, going out to get people who are on the apprenticeship scheme, getting people who haven't been to university, who are just out there working in different fields, might want to cross over, and attracting them and getting them into our industry and giving them a bit of a taste test and encouraging them to go through and connecting them with people who may have the same kind of life experiences as them when they come in as well, so that they don't feel isolated.
Indeed, I couldn't agree more. I think that diversity creates such a richness in our sector, so important to understanding the people that we are researching on a day-to-day basis. Brilliant. Well, look, it's ever so clear why you're the award winner for the Young Researcher of the Year. Really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers.